What prompted scientist Peter Scott Morgan to become part machine? And did doing so really extend his life? Keep watching for his fascinating journey into new frontiers of medical science. On June 15, 2022, Dr. Peter Scott Morgan's family issued a statement on his Twitter account that announced his death at the age of 64. Scott Morgan was an American-British scientist known as the world's first full cyborg. In 2017, Scott Morgan was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, or MND, also called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. MND is a rare condition that affects the nerves and brain. Some of its symptoms include weak legs, slurred speech, muscle cramps, and a weak grip, according to the UK's National Health Service. Currently, there is no known cure for the disease, but patients with MND can undergo treatments to alleviate its symptoms. Scott Morgan was given 2 years to live when he was diagnosed in 2017. Despite his progressing illness, he remained optimistic about life and found ways to cope with his condition. He always believed that technology would be able to save him. He told Input magazine, "All my early science education came from Doctor Who and Star Trek. They taught me that if you're smart enough, brave enough, and have access to technology, anything's possible." Scott Morgan decided that he was going to do whatever he could to live longer. He did so by undergoing a series of surgeries to transform himself into a cybernetic organism, part human and part machine. He said, "I'm a prime candidate for the fast track to death, but I will pass on the offer. I am frankly far too busy having fun."
Who would have thought that trying to cheat death was a full-time job?
Scott Morgan had the idea to remove the functions of his organs before they started failing. The UK National Health Service notes that MND and its symptoms gradually get worse over time. So moving, swallowing, and even breathing eventually get harder. Patients undergo a combination of treatments, including physiotherapy and occupational and speech therapy, as well as diet changes. Scott Morgan developed an avatar of his face before his muscles failed to function. The idea was for the robotic face to correspond with the movements of the body with the use of artificial intelligence. He also went under the knife for what he called a triple ostomy in 2018. Input magazine described the surgery as involving tubes being placed in his stomach, colon, and bladder to enable him to take in more nutrients. He worked with physicians, designers, and technology experts to function. His goal was to rely on artificial intelligence to offer solutions to people who live with extreme disabilities. Initially, doctors were hesitant to work with Scott Morgan about his plans, as there were risks involved that could further the disease's progression or even cause his death. However, the optimistic scientist was adamant, and he eventually found people to support him. Next, he had his voice box removed to prevent him from choking on his own saliva. He developed a way to communicate using a voice synthesizer, and Times Now News reported it sounded almost like his real voice, and not too robotic.
Whatever the odds, you can change everything.
In 2019, Scott Morgan completed his transformation into a full cyborg that he called Peter 2.0. A 2020 TV documentary called Peter, the Human Cyborg told the story of the scientist's journey. It was edited together from footage of 2 years of Scott Morgan's life, from the planning stages with a team of experts up to his various surgeries. Near the end of his life, Scott Morgan's MND had significantly progressed. But thanks to technology, he was able to stand up, use a computer via eye tracking, and communicate with others. After the success of his transformation, he said that he wasn't merely surviving with his disease, he was thriving. Scott Morgan's death announcement made clear that he died surrounded by his family and closest friends. Those who worked with him were saddened by the news, but his legacy continues. The Scott Morgan Foundation makes use of AI technology to improve the lives of those who are extremely disabled. The New York Post noted in his obituary that Scott Morgan once said that he was lucky to be a cyborg prototype, so he could show the world the immense possibilities in revolutionizing humanity. Through his persistence and positivity, he was able to prolong his life and give hope to those who may not have had any before.
Because whatever happens, we will learn from it and we will do it better the next time.